This is
You're going to struggle to fit a spanner in a red.
not quite as egregious as the pasta food line, but, you know, we run with it.
Look, I was trying to think of the name of mince, but it just was not coming. Anyway, AD carry bans galore coming in. We could see another Sivir game. It's a Kalista ban. It's a Zeri ban. It's a Senna ban. Jax and Ari as well taken away from LGD.
Yeah, thin in the pool quite a bit. Still things like the Wukong, which has been less banned, but very often picked. Open available Silas on the cards is something we've seen quite frequently banned away in the first three. Poppy, another one that has been pretty high priority. So we'll see what ends up happening. Renata, you know, all these things. But they're actually going for Azir, which, you know, I get Scout pretty proficient in Azir. This means EDG, I just mentioned a ton of picks that we often see banned. They have kind of a wide pool to look at. And to kind of decide what they want to do. Gnar is another thing we saw. Summit, very high priority towards that. And it looks like EDG might go for the Silas. And this kind of, speaking of the Gnar, this kind of works twofold. Because if LGD do lock the Gnar in, it's one of the best ults in the game for Silas. So does put some question marks on whether you want to give him that power by taking a good pick for yourself.
Yeah, Scout grabs very much comfort pick, but the Poppy available. This is something that we've seen a ton of over the course of the split and has very rapidly become pretty much 100% ban rate. And whenever it's not banned, generally seems to be locked in. Shadow going to grab that one for himself. And we'll see whether LGD opt to match that mid lane for the time being or whether they want to look towards something for Asum. He has been the priority player for LGD. He's been the basket in which LGD put their eggs. So we'll see if that's a priority for them.
Well, Renata pickup as well. Aphelios is probably the best pairing with Renata overall that we've seen, other than Kalista, who's obviously fantastic. So I like the fact that they're locking this in, they're securing this. We'll see if EDG opt to deny the Aphelios. Obviously, it's something Viper's lent on heavily, has really prioritized. First off, they're going to pick the Trundle. Obviously, into the Poppy, you'll win out the early skirmishes. You can also just alter, which is a very powerful tool. So clearly, EDG ready for the Poppy pick and what they want to do in response. And now Raven coming out for EDG. You know, I'm talking, do they deny the Aphelios? No, they just decide to respond that they don't care what LGD takes the AD carry role. They will look to try and dumpster it.
And this is not like a classic Viper pick. This is not, when you think of Viper, you do not think of Draven. He's bringing out the aggression. Junjia's in as well, right? Changing up the roster a little bit. Feels like EDG are saying, we're changing our style today. They want to fight. They've got a Silas in the mid lane. They've got a Draven as the AD carry. And, you know, Asum and Jinzhao decide to stick to their strategy with that Aphelios locked in. Nautilus take it off the board. They want to neutralize that bottom lane as much as possible.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if they also ban away Janna, which, you know, you might not typically expect, but I've seen a bit in Europe. Draven Janna as a response to Kalista Renata. And obviously, this isn't Kalista Renata, but a similar concept you could see coming out here. But maybe they just don't pay any heed to it and just ban away potentially some other typical support options. Maybe even looking towards the top lane. Gnar could be a good ban here. Obviously, picking it for LGD, as I said before, gives over that ult. If you ban it, then at least you're not giving it over the side of EDG.
So while we wait for the next couple of bans, I've got a couple of bonus little stats for you guys. Some interesting stats on Viper.
Ooh.
So, you know, his Draven, he's played it once ever. Currently an infinite KDA. He went 6-0 and 10 the one time he did play it. So great Draven performance the one time he played it. Interestingly, he has played Victor, Morgana, Jace, Darius, Teemo, Irelia, and Ryze more times than he has played Draven as an AD carry main. And these are all competitive games as well. So definitely a fringe pick for Viper across his career. Well, I'm excited to see it, though.
Joe, you say they were competitive. They were professional games. I don't know how competitive they were. They were definitely pro games.
That's a whole can of worms. That is a whole can of worms.
Looks like LGD might be trying for the Akali answer into the Silas. So bear in mind, we have seen Silas flex the top lane, but you can also flex the Akali to match. We've seen this one be a bit of a skill matchup, and obviously Silas can steal away Akali ult and go pretty heavily toe-to-toe. But now IDG, locking in the support will be a port of call, and like the top laner, I talked about possibly LGD banning the Gnar. They opted not to, and it looks like EDG will capitalize. Yep,
so they're not going to come on through there. Going to be the pickup for themselves. And now just need to lock in that support. Obviously, the Nautilus, the movement band. Oh, go on, Mako. Treat us. We've already got the Draven.
Oh.
There it is. Draven Blitzcrank coming out from Viper and Mako. Junja subbed in the jungle. EDG are here to make a statement today.
I feel like, you're going for the 7,000 assists. You have to do it in style. And this is going to be the case where, Renata is very immobile. And also, with the bailout, it's not very effective into a Blitzcrank, because chances are, if you've been grabbed by the Blitzcrank, it doesn't matter if you can buy an extra few seconds. You're screwed regardless. So, a very volatile bot lane. The scaling on the side of LGD, but the immense pressure from EDG. And we see the Sejuani coming out for LGD. So, ultimately, EDG have kind of like 3 pretty strong lanes that I expect to come out ahead in the early levels and find favor. And for LGD, it's kind of like they're just holding on for dear life and hoping that they get to team fights without being beaten into dust.
Yeah, that's a hell of a win condition. Try not to be beaten to dust. We'll see if LGD can pull it off. Definitely looking towards the late game for LGD, which I'm going to be honest, when we've seen LGD succeed in the past, it generally has been off of early skirmishes. But man, I'm excited for this EDG bottom lane. I'm excited as well. I will say, you were talking about the hostile takeover from Renata. I feel like Draven is one of those champions that can do serious damage when a hostile takeover hits him. But the nice thing for EDG is their team is all pretty damn tanky. Like, the squishiest ally that Draven has is either the Blitzcrank or the Sylas, neither of which is, like, exactly easy to kill, generally speaking, anyways. So, I feel like it's going to be a tough one for the Renata.
I tell you what, like, people often, I'm not going to say I'm not in this boat, but people often complain about new champions. There were definitely some balancing issues with Renata, but hit ult is one of the most hilarious things ever.
Yeah, it is.
And every time it hits, there'll definitely be a moment in this game where Viper, if they do get ahead, Viper's mega fed, hostile takeover hits, and he just launches an axe and just like domes one of his allies and just takes them out. And I'm ready for it, honestly.
Yeah, if he's just activated his Blood Rush, could hit 2 or 3 axes, that's a dead teammate. We'll have to wait and see. As you can see, League of Legends Esports Manager is out in China. Oh, the hook! Oh, Chalitza.
Oh.
He is lucky. He felt the breeze of that rocket grab over the wall there. That was a close one.
Going for some of those cheesy plays that you can attempt on the Blitzcrank. And, I'm going to boil this bot lane down quite simply to you, Joe. If Mako hits a rocket grab, things are pretty good for EDG. If Mako doesn't hit a rocket grab, things are pretty good for LGD. That's kind of how we're going to analyze this bot lane.
Now, that's the kind of analysis I can get behind. I could understand that. Let's go with that.
Yeah, keep it simple. But yeah, I think LGD on the rough spot, as I said, it kind of feels like they're holding on because it feels like all 3 lanes are going to have prio early. All 3 lanes are going to be applying pressure. I mean, bot lane can be a bit more like if Viper and Mako start to, miss rocket grabs, lose out, then LGD could have a bit of pressure. But ultimately, it's kind of on Shadow to try and bail his lanes out. So we'll see if he gets any opportunities. And obviously this Draven, we've seen, some Dravens get up to 600 stacks. It's 2.5 gold per stack. So you can get a humongous cash in if the lane just plays out with nothing happening. And obviously, I expect both teams trying to either deny or find the cash in for the Draven, respectively.
Well, Viper using his Q there to get himself up to 2 spinning axes, so doesn't feel like he wants to play this one super safe. He feels confident that he can keep those. A hook already onto Jin Zhao here. Half of his health gone immediately. And now EDG play the waiting game. They look for the cooldown to drop, and then perhaps we'll turn it into more a stack as well there off of the ward for Viper as he builds that adoration. Looking for level 2. It will be the advantage for LGD here. They'll be the first ones to hit 2. It looks like Mako and Viper will respect it.
Yeah, double range, so they'll be able to push it in early, get the level 2. But notice Mako sweeping out the first ward, sweeping out the first brush, and then actually a ward gets placed and they both focus it down. If Blitzcrank gets control of the brush, it can be really difficult. And that hook connected, didn't really do much apart from chunk Jin Zhao out. But once the level 2 is hit, once you have the knock up to follow, that is where things get scary. That's where if you get hit, it will probably lead to a kill or bare minimum a handful of summoners. Okay. And already we're seeing action, Joe.
Junja wants to move down the solo queue superstar himself. The pillar comes in, but a handshake from Jin Zhao is gorgeous. Junja still looking for the slow, though. And Mako forces the flash out. I can't believe they still found a summoner spell here. As Asum just getting some damage onto Junja, but he don't mind.
Yeah, good job from LGD to try and mitigate that. But at the end of the day, flash burn, you got what you wanted. Now, Jin Zhao's going to be in such a scary position if it connects. Yeah, you're going down.
The thing is, we've all had these games in solo queue where you're against like Blitzcrank and something aggressive, right? And you know that one little misposition is gonna be the death of you, and then the game just gets out of control real quick. Well, Jin Zhao is gonna have to do that on stage, right? He's gonna do that live in front of millions of people around the world. Feels like a tough one for him. He's gonna be feeling that pressure on his shoulders. Yeah, we'll have to see. Mako on point with hooks so far, though. Shadow tries to go for an invade onto Junja here. Smite not available for either player. Shadow's about to come up, and there it is. Steals away the chicken.
Painful in that one. And right now, Junja doesn't really have anything to do. Scuttle Crab available on the top side, but he's heading around to the bot lane again, but will be spotted. I feel like there has to be an instant call out. Guys, back off, get away.
There was no ping.
Oh,
there was no
there's
ping
no
on
way.
him. How do they get away with this one? A pillar down onto Jin Zhao. Mako goes wide on the hook. It does not matter at all. There's a cash in for Viper. 150 HP though. Flash available. Shadow moving in. Flashed by Viper. He takes a tower shot for his trouble and ends up giving an extra kill. It's an absolute disaster, but it's glorious for EDG as Asum is just battered down by Junja. Oh my goodness, it's gone from bad to worse.
You know, I feel like I lied because the rocket grab didn't connect and they still went very heavily in favor of EDG. Mako doesn't land the skill shot, but he just flashes in, knocks up Jin Zhao. Remember, no flash for the Renata. That's what the goal was. You get the flash for the Renata, it makes the play so much easier. And Shadow, overzealous with the Poppy play.
The disastrous thing is that was seen, that was scouted, that was spotted. It was a totally preventable play. Unforced error there from LGD, and, you know, not a good look. Not a good look if you're wanting to start this series well. 2,000 gold lead at 5.5 minutes. Look, I mean, EDG, we said they wanted to make a statement.
They're just investing in the hostile takeover, right? Get Viper fed so he can kill us all.
If only they had a Viego as well.
Yeah, that'd be the ultimate game plan in terms of the comps. We've got a replay coming out. And yeah, missed this obviously, and so Mako doesn't actually connect, but it doesn't matter because he just goes for the flash knockup, guarantees the kill, and even Viper making sure he gets the cash in. 260 extra gold.
650 gold.
Yeah, a lot. And then here, flashing the knockback. Here's the thing, when you know Viper has flash, I feel like of all the players in the league, you have to expect Viper's going to be on point with the mechanics. We've seen it time and time again. And it just ends up not only costing Shadow's life, but also we see Asum go down as well. It's a disaster right now in the bot lane. And
okay, hang on though.
More
Shadow
action all the time.
Haichao. It's time to brawl at the bottom lane. It's a 4v3. No TPs available for any EDG players as Shadow moves in, but Junja's here. And actually, it's EDG in a 3v1. The rest of the team can't move in, and already a kill. Rocket Crab goes slightly wide, but Asum's in trouble here, and Viper can just chase him down. Look at him chop through the health bar, the blood rush to get one last auto, and in the meantime, off on the side, Jin Zhao is beaten down by Scout. This is an unmitigated disaster for LGD.
It's just all falling apart, Joe. There's... Oh, man, I have to respect the attempt. You know, if you leave this lane unchecked, your bot lane's just going to get annihilated with the items Draven has already. They try to make the 4-man move, but just the fact that Junja's there, the fact they spot out Shadow with the sweeper. Yeah, he's pretty doomed at this point is all I can say.
It's not often that you're 7 minutes into a game and it already feels over, but it already feels over, and Scout looks to try and find a solo kill in the mid lane. Won't. He's still against a half HP opponent there. In fact, loses the trade. So a little overzealous from Scout there. Silver lining for LGD.
We said earlier how Junja coming in, bit of a solo queue superstar. This game feels a bit like my solo queue game sometimes, I won't lie, Munch. Where it's just like one lane just go. Like, imagine being Chalitza here, right?
Yeah.
And he's just chilling top lane, equal in farm. You're like, you look down at the rest of the map and you're like,
Yeah. It's a tough one to have to go into. Shadow here, going for the 1v1 onto Junja. Mako's over the wall. But remember, if Mako pulls there, he's pulling into a 1v1 for himself, so needs to be a little cautious.
I
We'll
could see him
defend
taking
that
it.
red
I could see him going for, honestly, just knowing
I can see him
Mako.
going for it. I'm not sure he wins it, though. It's the only concern. Judge grabs the red buff. He will win out the duel in the end. Grab his buff. Pings on to the Rift Herald here.
Oh my!
I feel
He's got
like
a
EDG just gets it for
1500.
free, right?
He's got a 1600 gold lead already.
Yeah.
It's 8 minutes in the game.
That's an old BF sword, not even the new one. That's the old BF sword right there. 1600. That used to be the recall timer back in like season 2. You'd get 1600 gold, go back for the BF sword. Beautiful.
Oh
days.
my lord, he has an eclipse already and a sheen.
Oh my
and
days.
a sheen, Joe.
8 minutes. 8 minutes in. Oh god, Viper is just on another level today on this Draven, and Mako pulling out the Blitzcrank. He's what 17 assists away from 7,000 and the reset denial as well, with the whirling death coming out from Viper, the cannon to stop this wave dying underneath the tower as well. Mako will be able to finish these minions off for him. Everything that could go the way of Viper this game is going the way of Viper, and he is loving every second of it.
Yep. I mean, this is expectation with like a lane like this on the bot side. It's gonna go one way or the other. Either it's gonna stomp out of control. I mean, that's the thing, is like Draven is super snowbally, but Blitzcrank is also Feast of Famine. There's so many times where he just feels absolutely useless, or if you're finding momentum, you can just take over the game, and that's kind of where we are now. I'm interested to see what LGD attempt to try and mitigate this. I won't lie, I'm not too optimistic, but it looks like they're trying to make a play top lane, but being spotted out, and Flandre can just back away, so that has to be the port of call, is find numbers advantages, find scenarios where it's like favored, and they actually are going to opt fully into that by putting the bot lane top. So lane swapping away from the Draven, and Chalitza, I was saying he's probably not having a good time. It's getting worse. He has to deal with the Draven.
Chalitza's there. He's chilling. First time back in the LPL this year, by the way. Like, this is not a player that's playing regularly. Comes back in, subbed in for the team, has to go against EDG, and then gets lane swapped into Viper's Draven that's already got an Eclipse and a Sheen that he bought at 8 minutes. I mean, that's not a fun way to re-enter the LPL, is it? That's a little unfortunate for him. Hai Chao could be in trouble here. Mako moves in, Judges here as well. But Chalitza over the wall. He's not bothered about the bottom lane. He's bothered about making plays. It's a pick in the mid lane onto Mako.
Yeah, managed to slam the rest of them away to get the favorable play, but yeah, they get the charge in the bot lane. You know, I gotta praise LGD. This is what you gotta do. You gotta find those moments, find those opportunities. You can't fight the Draven, not for the next, I don't know how long, maybe ever. Yeah, maybe ever. So at least find something else you can do, and getting a kill onto the Akali. You know, there's a lot of times we had this in the previous series where like LWX was fed on Calista and ZDZ was fed on Camille, and I was like, look, there's your answer. The Camille into the Calista. You have an Akali. If you get Hai Chao fed, maybe that's your answer to the Draven. Now, currently the Akali is 2,000 gold less than the Draven, so I'm not really optimistic, but it's a plan. That's what we're working with. It's a plan.
Look, the fact that they have a plan and are making proactive plays, there are a lot of teams around the world that would just lay down and die in this situation. And it's good to see that LGD are still trying to find a way to find an advantage in this game. You can see Hai Chao finished his Mythic now as well. We're going to have to keep our eyes on this Akali as we move on. Asum struggling to match any lane at this point as Viper just continues to soak up plates. Managed to get, I think it was, well, I don't even know how many it was at the bottom lane. It was a lot in the bottom lane. The Herald going down, so I guess he shared a couple of them. So I think he got essentially 4 plates. Now 1 in the mid lane as well. Potentially more to come in the mid lane too.
And they have to send 3 people. Oh, now they're looking. Nope,
yeah,
never mind.
Mako flashes away from Shadow. Nicely done there. In the meantime, Junja doing the Drake. Everything looking pretty dandy for EDG.
Yeah, I like that they're trying to challenge, trying to find windows, but, you know, they don't really get much. They get a summoner, but we're still going to see Viper playing aggressively. He has Flash and Cleanse and still just doing a ridiculous amount of damage. So it's a rough spot to be in, Joe. You know, I'm not envious of LGD's position.
No, but then I felt that way before the series even began, Dan. They are 1-7 in the standings, and they're against EDG. So this was never going to be an easy one.
Hey, they're 1-7 in the standings. They're only 1-6 in this game, Joe.
That's true.
It could get worse.
It's currently slightly better than the rest of the season for LGD. That's the kind of silver linings that we're looking for right now. Yeah. But EDG, I mean, look, this is a team that they've had a rough split. They've had a bit of a rough year. You know, playoffs really didn't go well for them in spring. But now it feels like the last few series, they've been slowly but surely getting better. We're starting to see glimpses of that EDG from last year. And now this game, I mean, they know that they're a heavy favorite in this one, and it feels like they're playing with it. They're playing with that confidence that we're so used to. And Junjia moving in feels good to me right now.
Yeah, playing with that energy, I really feel in this one. So, yeah, expectations, just continuous momentum. I kind of want to see how many stacks Viper's up to now, because it's been a while since he's cashed in again. And yeah, just have easily the ability to just keep compounding that gold lead if you keep getting regular cashes in. But right now, we see them leaning top. Nice dodge from Haichao, though, just to prevent
Crucial
a pick
dodge.
from happening. Yeah.
Because that pick would have led to a tower, probably. That would have led to disaster for LGD. Shadow gets spotted out. As Chilitza and Jinzhao try and contest, but I don't know if they can win this fight right now. Scout has the Sejuani ultimate, but Shadow there. Junjia flashes away to safety. Scout alone in amongst 5 LGD members. Flandre on the other side of the map, not opting to TP. Mako turns golden for some reason. He didn't buy himself time. He bought himself death, and now Viper alone. Haichao, though. Oh, the whirling death! We said Haichao was the answer to Viper, but he's just another 300 gold.
Cash is in once more. The execution from the ultimate clearly doing enough there. And I think, sadly, despite the fact that LGD managed to get that kill for themselves, it's still just a massive win for EDG because Viper cashed in. He's going to have a ton of gold in pocket. But yeah, LGD still trying, but just not finding any answers.
I mean, it's 7,000 gold lead right now. It's absurd in favor of EDG. We're 14, almost 15 minutes into the game. This is one of the biggest leads I think we've seen all split, honestly. Certainly top 5. But for EDG, I mean, it's smooth sailing. Herald is up again, and they've already taken a tier 2 in the bottom side. So Flandre can just pressure and inhib the bottom side while the rest of the team plays with a Herald. That sounds like an easy ticket to victory to me.
Yep, I think so too. And oh man, there's so many items on this Draven. The Hex Shrinker, I was talked about the Carly being an answer. That definitely makes things more difficult. Having the extra shield, having the extra magic resist as well. So
I mean, Viper's an item and a half ahead of us right now. An item and a half. That is insane. As he just walks forward, just starts hitting people. Has the cleanse as well. So even if Chilitza tries to find an opportunity onto Viper, he'll be able to cleanse, he'll be able to flash away, keep himself safe. He has the lifesteal from the Eclipse. He can just keep this up all day long. Yeah, and I think the thing is, because there's nothing like the Nautilus on the enemy team, it's very hard to like engage on a Viper and make it stick with the fact that, as you mentioned, he has the cleanse. And oh no! Oh, it's a disaster. Everything that can go wrong is going wrong for LGD. A great hook from Mako as he looks for those 21 assists that he so desperately needs. He's got 7 of them.
It's a 4.2k gold lead between the 80. Look at Shadow has 4.6 gold, right? If you add Shadow's gold to Asim's gold, you have about what Viper has. That is so disturbing, by the way.
The crazy thing is, like, a 4.5k gold lead at 16 minutes is insane for an entire team to have. And Viper has that by himself. It is just absurd. And the crazy thing is, it's not even like a super high kill game. It's not even like this has been action-packed from minute 1 and just continuous brawling. It's just those couple of plays and then great macro out from EDG, and LGD are just in a hole.
I think the main thing is that he keeps cashing in. Because he keeps getting these cash-ins regularly, it's like he's just getting this constant influx of gold. Yeah, so comes in here.
Okay.
Yeah, grab connects, and then we get another big bunch of gold for Viper. Who is just back, but more stuff, and now they're setting up this dragon. State of the game. LGD, yeah, I don't think they have any chance of contesting this one, but we'll see what they do.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, eh? As the tower will go down in the mid lane. Junjia walks up to tank it. Mako there. There's a stun onto Junjia. Bit of damage coming across, but he's just invincible. And now it's all turned around. There's one for Flandre. Big damage out from Viper, as you'd expect, since he's, you know, almost on 4 items at 17 minutes. It's over to the Drake now for the side of EDG.
His ult just like cleaved half the team. Like don't get me wrong, I expect his axes to do a lot, but he just single-handedly like nearly decimated over LGD, and now Flandre might be in trouble.
Is it a kill? Is it a play? There's one for Haichao. That's 3 now on the board. Maybe awesome. If there's ever a play in League of Legends that represents squeaky bum time, it's committing to that recall right there, because that was about as dangerous as it gets.
I feel like you gotta live on the edge, right? LGD, they ain't gonna come back by playing safe. Some of those clutch recalls might be the solution. And you know, that is the saving grace, is the Akali, right? Typically, Akali very good in the AD carries because one, she's good at just one-shotting squishy champs, but also can't really auto-attack it in response. But yeah, this ult here, I'm trying to see if it was just the ult that came in, but it just did like an obscene amount of damage from Viper. Might be like a Q from Nara as well, but like that,
yeah, no,
she now nearly gets one-shot by it. Yeah,
that is insane. More adoration stacks, and that's an execute as well.
Yeah, honestly. And I think obviously the Eclipse gives lethality and percentage pen contributing, but I just don't think there's really any armor on the bot lane of LGD right now if you to cut through.
Yeah.
So
I just want to say as well, this is Viper's 2nd ever competitive Draven game, and this is the kind of performance that he has. He has more competitive Darius games than he does on Darius's brother Draven. But it doesn't seem to matter as they move in. Viper there to bait Shadow in and just cleave him down. Here we go. Hostile takeover, but it's dodged. And Shadow will fall. The bailout won't be able to do much. It's another cash in for Viper, as if he needed more gold for himself. My God, this is just disgusting.
All I can say is imagine how much of a stomp this would have been if Viper...
waiting for it to spawn. They're really waiting for Baron. Looking at their watches like, come on, I'm trying to end the game.
Oh, I mean, LGD have to try. Good luck.
They have to try. Chilitza first on the chopping block, and it really is that with these axes. Might as well be a lump of wood. There goes Asum as well, taken down by Scout. EDG can return to the Baron, or they can keep going mid. They can do literally anything that they want right now.
Man, imagine if Viper brought out his Darius this game, how much of a stomp it would be. This is his Draven, right? Imagine his Darius, is all I can say.
Yeah, this is something to behold, an absolute treat. I'm really curious what game number 2 looks like, Hawks, honestly. Whether the draft gets just as crazy as this one. Judger is real low on this one. Viper has to move forward to tank. Okay, they do get the Baron. Literally 2-manning Baron at 20 minutes on Judger and Viper. If this team ain't feeling it, I don't know what feeling it looks like.
Oh my. So he had a Zeal and a Hex Drink in his inventory. He just completed the Zeal to a rapid fire cannon, and he completed the Hex Drinker to a Maw. One more item and he's full build at 21 minutes. One more item.
Double Asum's gold. He's on almost 13,000. Asum's on 7,000.
Wait.
He's 1,000 gold away from doubling the enemy.
Yeah, it's still the case. If you add Shadow's gold to Asum, it makes Viper's gold. Still, at this point, like, it's just ridiculous. Oh, man.
It's mind-blowing. It's honestly mind-blowing. What a game. What a game to get to watch as well. Judger moving forwards as EDG start to muscle their way in. They know that they can start to just try and end things with this Baron. Chilitza knows he's in trouble, needs to be cautious. Oh my days, that's the tank. And it still does.
Yeah, and
with 1/8 of his health.
With Sejuani as well, who has like, you know, she has a passive which gives her like a ton of extra resistances on the first hit. I want to see one of these axes hit a squishy. I'm going to be real. I want to see Ginger just like, walk up and just get axed and die.
I mean, he's chunking out the tower pretty hard right now. There we go. All in. Mako the target as LGD try and find something. Hostile takeover. It's not enough. Viper still going strong, still full health, and in comes Flandre. He turns mini, though. Does not have his ultimate available. Scout gets one. LGD trying to hold on. Viper can't actually get range, but it doesn't matter because Scout has apparently enough gold to do it all himself. A triple for Scout as EDG play with their food. LGD trapped on the fountain as at 22 minutes. EDG look to end the game. Scout having Chalitza's ultimate. Will go for the rocket grab there, but Chalitza escapes. In the meantime, the rest of the team jumps onto Haichao inside his shroud. Scout gets yet another kill. The unofficial quadra for him as he looks for Chalitza on the fountain as well. Viper's there to try and finish the job. The Nexus is bare, and EDG show us what domination looks like.
No other way to describe it than, yeah, domination. Did not even look close, in all honesty. Just felt like an absolute stomp from start to end. They got that early play in the bot lane, and that was it done. And I feel like, you know, as much as there were like kills here and there that went over, it never felt like LGD were in with a shot. So yeah, at least it's a best of 3. So LGD get a chance to bounce back. That's my summation. That's all I can say.
I'm going to be honest, if I'm LGD right now, I'm not sure I want a best of 3.